I don't even know where to start. My hands are shaking, and my heart feels like it's lodged in my throat. I need to get this off my chest. So here I am, pouring everything out to strangers on the internet because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Last night, I was invited to what I thought was a surprise party for a friend's promotion. My wife, Emma, told me she'd be there early to help set things up and asked if I could come a little later to make an entrance. I thought it was odd, but Emma has always loved planning dramatic surprises, so I didn't question it. When I arrived, the house was buzzing with people. Music was playing, drinks were flowing, and everyone seemed to be having a great time. But something felt off. Emma wasn't by the bar or mingling like she usually would. A friend of hers, someone I didn't know very well, came up to me with a sympathetic look and whispered, "You might want to check the guest room upstairs." Confused and uneasy, I made my way through the crowd and up the stairs. The closer I got, the louder my heartbeat pounded in my ears. When I opened the door, my world shattered. There she was, Emma, my wife, with another man. They jumped apart as if they'd been caught in the middle of a fire, their faces pale with shock and guilt. I froze. My mind went blank, and it felt like the air had been knocked out of me. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just turned and walked away, out of the room, out of the house, and into the cold night air. Emma came home later that night, but I couldn't even look at her. She tried to talk, but I shut her down. I didn't have the energy for excuses or explanations. The next morning, she asked if we could sit down and talk. Reluctantly, I agreed, though my stomach churned with anger and pain. She poured herself a glass of water, clutching it like it might somehow give her strength. "I want to talk," she said softly, breaking the silence. I took a long sip of my coffee, deliberately setting the mug down. "Talk then," I said, my voice cold and distant. Emma sat across from me, wringing her hands nervously. "I know I've hurt you, Jake. I know I can't take any of it back, but I want to try." "Try what?" I interrupted sharply. "To fix this? To pretend like nothing ever happened?" She flinched but didn't back down. "No," she replied, her voice steady despite the tears brimming in her eyes. "I know we can't pretend, but I want to figure out a way forward, together." I shook my head, a bitter laugh escaping my lips. "There's no together, Emma. Not anymore." Tears rolled down her cheeks, but I didn't care. I was done feeling sorry for her, and I was done feeling sorry for myself. "I made a mistake," she whispered, her voice trembling. "A terrible mistake. But I still love you, Jake. I never stopped loving you." Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. A part of me wanted to believe her. I really did. But how could I? How could I trust anything she said after everything she had done? "Love," I scoffed. "You call this love? Lying to me? Sneaking around behind my back? Humiliating me in front of your friends? If that's your version of love, Emma, I want no part of it." She broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. For a fleeting moment, I felt a flicker of pity for her, but it wasn't enough. It would never be enough. In the days that followed, I wrestled with my emotions. I was torn between the love I once felt for Emma and the betrayal I couldn't forgive. I knew I had to make a decision. Either try to rebuild what was left of our marriage or walk away for good. In the end, the choice was clear. One morning, I sat Emma down at the kitchen table, the same table where we had shared so many meals and conversations over the years. "I can't do this," I told her, my voice heavy with finality. "I can't pretend everything's okay. I can't trust you. And without trust, there's nothing left." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I understand," she whispered. "I'm sorry, Jake, for everything." I gave her a small, sad smile. "So am I." And just like that, it was over. The divorce was quick and quiet. There were no screaming matches, no bitter fights over who got what. Emma moved out, and I stayed in the house. But it no longer felt like home. In the months that followed, I try to rebuild my life one day at a time. Some days were better than others. Some days, I even found myself laughing again, but the nights were still hard. The memories lingered, lurking in the shadows, ready to remind me of everything I had lost. I don't know if I'll ever fully move on from what happened, but I'm trying. Maybe that's enough for now. As for Emma, I have no idea where she is or what she's doing. And honestly, I don't care. She made her choice and I made mine. Life goes on, and so will I.